fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand.
Hi, welcome to Healing Outside the Box. I'm Rosemary Lachance, an energy healer and a spiritual teacher.
Hi, and I'm Dina Scungio, a student and teacher of spirituality.
We are co-hosts for this thought-provoking series and are dedicated to providing you with food for thought information and answers to all modalities of alternative healing, spiritual development, animal welfare, environmental concerns, and so much more in the form of guest speakers who are experts in their fields. This series is recorded and will be shown in your area on your local public service cable network. Please contact them for dates and times.
And if you have a group that you think would be interested in what we have to offer, we are available to come to your group and teach. We will give you our contact information at the end of the show. Please visit Rosemary's website and click on My TV Show, where you'll find a wealth of information about the show. Our shows are available also to watch free on YouTube now. Just go to YouTube and type in Healing Outside the Box to make your choices. We are constantly adding new shows, so keep checking back. I think there's over 175 shows.
Yeah.
We're also on Facebook under Healing Outside the Box. And please go to the Facebook page and like our show. And you'll find out all the latest information about it as well. And we hope you enjoy our show.
Okay, this is show number 180.
Wow. Congratulations.
And the title of the show is Wake Up to the Plight of Animals. And our guests tonight are Val and Gina. Pronounce it for me.
Queiroga.
Queiroga. I want to say Coringa. Queiroga. Okay, and we will let Gina and Val just give you a little brief bio about themselves, who they are.
Well, I'm Val. I'm a police officer in North Haven. I'm the union president. And currently, me and my wife Gina are involved in several fundraising endeavors, one being rescue calendar for rescue animals. We have two amazing children, twins, 7-year-olds, Luciano and Gina. Hi, guys.
Love those names.
Yeah, when you watch,
They're awesome.
make sure I say hi to them. Besides that, my life revolves around my wife and kids. It's really, that's me in a nutshell.
And I'm Gina Queiroga, and I'm Val's wife. And I am an animal activist, lover, and we are trying to raise awareness on animal welfare and animal cruelty and get people to realize what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And Gina is a vegan, and Val's a vegetarian.
Working on it.
Vegetarian, working on
becoming a vegan.
Yes.
And me too. I'm a vegetarian working on it.
Yes. So hard.
It's a big move.
So
It
hard.
is, you know.
And last time we had you on the show, we were talking about the calendar. How is that going? Is it ready to be
It's
taught?
actually going really well. We're in the final stages. Everything is pretty much getting finalized right now. We have a couple pictures that I have to still put into the calendar, but we have all our sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm here, I'd actually like to take 1 second to just give a little recognition to the Rotary Club in North Haven. They do a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
They really went above and beyond for us for the calendar. Yeah,
Yes.
they're
They
great.
support everything that we
They're
do.
actually
all
made
the
up of
time.
local business owners in town. They do a great job. Mark Minotti is the president now. He was.
Oh, yeah.
Menardi's Music? Mark?
Yeah, Minotti
Music, yeah.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
And Teresa Veely were the two that actually helped us out, and they did a nice
And
job.
Mary Jane Mulligan.
And Mary Jane Mulligan, yeah. So it's coming along really good. It'll probably be ready to go. Initially, we were hoping for the second week in September, but you always have little delays. So if we could have it ready to go by the second week in October, I think that's going to be ideal. It's going to be ready for sale.
And this calendar is going to benefit rescue?
Yeah, right now we're
hoping to become nonprofit.
Yeah, we have a couple
So-
different avenues we could go down. The first is ultimately Rescue 911 wants to be a nonprofit. And what we want to do is we want to be the organization that rescues come to in times of need. So if you have an emergency, there's 10 puppies or 10 kittens or 10 cows or whatever it is that you rescue, and you don't have the pen or you don't have the room or you don't have the food or whatever it may be, and you need some money, we're hoping you fill out a couple forms, you submit them online, and we provide you that money. So we're hoping to have a nice cushion of money, stashed away in our nonprofit to be able to filter to these organizations as they need them.
Very nice.
And then obviously my wife does all her work with the animals herself, taking them in and finding them homes and all that. So that'll be part of it as well.
So this is all to help the animals.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And
what can people do? Anything to help buy these calendars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
right
anything
now,
else?
Just buy
What'd
the
you say?
calendars.
Okay.
We need to raise money right now.
They'll be
Okay.
able to go on
And-
the Facebook page and
Yeah.
order them?
Yeah.
Or, yeah?
Well, what we're gonna do is hopefully the individual that we're working through, JD Create, Jeff DeLucia has a business. We can't stress enough how much Jeff DeLucia
And Chris
Foster, who owns Light Thief Photography. These two, when I tell you, they might not be vegans, they might not be vegetarians, but the amount of volunteering and their own time they're putting into this calendar is unprecedented. I've never seen anybody step up the way these two are stepping up.
Wonderful.
For the
Yeah.
past
That's
year,
fantastic.
they've been
It's
helping
Been
us.
amazing. But Jeff creates these online stores. So you'll be able to go to, once we get the website, it'll be on our Facebook page. You'll be able to go onto our Facebook page. It'll redirect you to our online store, and you'll be able to purchase them. As well as they're going to be all over town. They're going to be, and a lot of the businesses that support us, Arnold Jeweler supports us big time. He'll have them at his store. We'll have them at Mark Minotti's store. We'll have them at all the local businesses that traditionally always support us. They'll be there for sale. So you'll see them all over. Classic Car Care is another big supporter of ours. They'll be all over.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, folks, this is what you can do to help the poor animals out there. And Val and Gina are putting out such an effort, and all the people that they've all told us about, putting out such an effort to help and save animals. And none of this goes to support them in any way, shape, or form.
No.
It's all going to help the
Oh,
animals. So you can do your part by purchasing these calendars, okay?
And we have T-shirts.
And
Also have
T-shirts, too.
T-shirts,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Still selling.
Yeah.
That's great. All
Good.
right, great.
Cool.
All right. First of all, before we get started on what we're going to talk about tonight, I want to read something from the Bible. Everybody's talking about the Bible, okay? I think the Bible was written by men long after Christ, passed away. And a lot of it is their thoughts and the way they think and feel. But some of it is right and truthful. So I want to tell you something about in Genesis so that you can see that God really did not tell us to eat animals. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 29, okay, God said, "See, I give you every seed-bearing plant all over the earth, and every tree that has seed-bearing fruit on it to be your food, and to all the animals of the land, and all the birds of the air, and all the living creatures that crawl on the ground, I give all the green plants for food." And so it happened. And God looked at everything he made, and he found it very good. Everything came well, and morning followed the sixth day. So, I didn't read anything that said, God said, eat the animals. He said, make them subject to you, meaning taking care of them, bringing them in, helping them, having them for pets, feeding them, taking care of them, whatever needs to be done. There's no place in the Bible where God says, eat the animals.
Or torture them.
Huh?
Or torture
Or
them.
torture them, or
Torture
do
them.
anything like that against the animals. Animals are our little brothers and sisters, and we're supposed to take care of them and help them. Not eat them, raise them for food, or anything like that.
Torture
So
them.
if you have any doubts, take a look in your Bible. I quoted you the verse. I quoted you the chapter. Look for yourself.
Isn't it traditionally our subjects are those that we take care of? When you look historically, whenever you talk about your subjects, it's always the people that you take care of. Mm-hmm. So it seems pretty clear what he's addressing there.
point.
Those are our subjects. We're supposed to watch over them, take care of them.
Great point.
You know.
That's great. All right.
I like that.
Let's start out by talking about factory farms and how people are absolutely horrified at the thought of eating dogs. But
China.
huh?
China eating dogs.
China eating dogs, but we eat pig, cow, chicken, baby calves, baby lambs, ducks, fish, Why is that any different than a dog or a cat? Okay.
That's,
So,
point.
why do you think that people do that?
I don't know. That's one thing that I just don't understand is when the Yulin Dog Festival comes around, which is in China, they go and they steal people's dogs and any stray dogs, and they feel like the most tortured animal, the more tender the meat.
Oh.
So,
What?
yeah.
Which is actually the
Yeah,
opposite.
I've read that.
which I
Yes.
could-
Oh my God.
And in a video, they actually say to somebody who's recording it, because obviously we are outraged by this. And they actually say, well, when you stop eating pigs and cows, we'll stop eating dogs. So I don't.
That's a good point. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we do the same thing to dogs.
Yeah.
We torture, to pigs and cows and chickens. We torture them.
I think they look at it because they're actually, when we think about torture, we think about, if you ever seen the movie The Passion of the Christ.
Oh,
you
yes.
think about when they
Haven't been
tortured
able
him
to
on
bring
the
myself there.
stump. You think that's, or on the stone. That's torture. You have to be whipped. So traditionally, that's what I believe in China. They do more to the dogs. It seems to be traditional torture where, they're hitting them, they're cutting limbs off, whatnot. Whereas
Yeah.
here we say, oh, they're really being tortured. Well, how? Well, they take a pig. If the pig is 3 feet high by 4 feet long, his cage is 2 feet high by 3 feet long. So how is he getting in there? They get him in there. So if that pig is sitting in that cage, which is, let's say, the same exact size as him, so he can't move, for days on end, pissing himself, defecating on himself, not being fed, not knowing when the next torture is going to come, or not knowing when he's going to be killed. Is that not torture? I would rather be whipped,
Yeah.
struck, than put there to my thoughts to have to wonder what's going to happen next. I'd rather know you're going to whip me 100 times.
And
I'd
pigs
rather
are
know you're
very
going to strike
smart.
me 100 times.
They're very smart.
They are.
Pigs.
So it's torture,
They
just
sit
not the
just like
traditional.
dogs,
Yeah, pigs are
they
very
want
smart.
love
Oh,
just
very
like
intelligent.
dogs
Fourth smartest
and cats.
animal when you're looking at the intelligence
animal.
scale. They're claimed to be the fourth smartest animal. They know exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the animals do. They're on a factory line when they're going to be slaughtered, and they have to see the one in front of them
Be killed.
get killed.
Yeah.
They have to hear their screams, and they know they're coming next for them. How would you like to do that? How would you like to
Right.
stand in line
Yeah.
and be the next one to be killed? And look what they're doing to that person. They cut off their arms, their legs, they cut off their head, did something. And you're going to have that happen to you. How would you like that?
Yeah.
Could you handle that?
Yep.
No.
There was a video that I saw of a cow behind another cow in the slaughter line. And he was in a cement enclosure. He couldn't go backwards. He couldn't go forwards. It was just when it was his turn, he was going to be killed. And he wanted to get out so badly. That video bothers me more than I've seen a lot. And that bothers me, the fact that he knew what was happening. He wanted to get out. He tried to get out. And obviously, he
Dina,
did
this-
not make it out. And
The thing that you said before the show started was we tell everybody how bad it is. So we're saying to them, we're talking about factory farms, how horrible they are. Don't eat meat because they come from factory farms. But what are we telling everybody to do then?
Right.
What can you do? We know there's a lot of people out there that aren't going to stop eating meat, right?
Right.
So what do you do to not contribute to the factory farms? What you could do is research. Find the local farms in your, as horrible as this is going to sound, there are a lot of farms in this area, North Brantford, Cheshire, that I know of, that actually will raise the animals, raise a cow, and you could actually purchase the cow after it's slaughtered, packaged for meat, and you'll be given all the meat of the cow. It'll last you maybe a year for your family. You know what? That's way better than buying the ground beef on sale at Stop and Shop.
Right.
Because that farmer isn't torturing his cow. Yes, he's slaughtering the cow. The cow's being chopped up and given to us as food. Yes. but it's better than supporting the farms that are torturing
Factory
these
farms,
animals.
yeah.
Right.
Never mind the fact that it's just so unhealthy for you. So that's what you can do. They're around. Or buy organic. Do your homework. Go to the store. Look at all the different brands, organic brands. Then go home and research. We have Google. Google. Read about the farms that do treat their animals humanely, and then purchase from them.
But you do have to watch out about organic
Right, you gotta do your
because
homework, right?
they,
You gotta research.
from what I see, they're not that much different than
Some, right.
Yeah.
they're
You
they're
mean as far as animals go?
yeah.
Yeah, some are just the
They
same.
still feed them maybe not as many pesticides and antibiotics and hormones, but they're still giving them. And the treatment is the same.
Right. You
Like-
gotta do your homework.
Or
And
so
that's
far,
what made me stop, because I was paying all this extra money, which we were paying so much extra money for organic meat, and then comes to find out that it was
Right,
the
wasn't
exact
that
same
much
thing.
different, right?
And I was horrified by that I'm
yeah.
paying for this.
we're so far removed from, I was saying before, is that we don't even know what goes on in these factories. Most people don't know what goes on in the factory farms. They don't
No.
want to watch the videos, because
Right.
I've had people tell me who are friends with her on her Facebook page, and she was posting a lot of animal torture stuff. They block her because
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they don't want to see
Right.
it.
Right.
They don't see
we've
how
been
they're
blocked
tortured.
too.
They don't see how they're murdered. They don't see any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't. They're the blinders are on. Oh well,
Right.
we
Right.
got.
I
I'm
don't
never
wanna
going to
hear
stop
it.
eating meat. I don't
Yeah.
want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it
Right.
because I don't want to have to feel guilty about eating meat.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? There's a great documentary out there that's called Forks Over Knives. There is they talk. There's I think it's an hour, maybe a little over an hour show, and it's just a documentary that tells you about all the studies out there about how bad animals are for you and how bad dairy is for you.
Yeah.
And all the things that it does to your body and how the incidence of cardiac markers, the incidence of heart problems and diabetes and all
Cancer.
these other things are. Hey, you know what? If you don't want to eat meat, then when you're in the hospital having crushing chest pain because you eat cows all your life, you can't say, why me?
Right.
Why me?
Exactly.
I didn't do
That-
anything wrong.
Right.
The evidence is there.
Right.
Hell, we're all working on
Right.
trying to stop doing that. We're all working on trying to get healthier
Right.
and all that stuff. But you have to, like you said, you have to do the work.
Right.
You have
Right.
to understand where your food's coming from.
Right.
It's scary.
It's
Yeah.
so unhealthy. They say pretty much every cow that's coming out of these factory farms has pneumonia. So,
Wow.
yeah, every cow and every horse that's brought to these slaughter factories has pneumonia. Every cow is fed corn as the staple diet. Cows are not meant to eat corn. They're meant
Right.
to eat grains, grass, wheat, stuff
Right.
like that. So when they eat the corn, their stomachs can't really digest it properly, so they produce an inordinate amount of methane gas, which actually goes back into the environment, creates a plethora of problems. But that methane gas
Hadn't heard
obviously
that.
is filtering through the
Oh, yeah.
cow, creating. So think about your most diseased human being. If I say to you, hey, you have to pick somebody to swap bodies with, you're going to pick the strong, young, energetic. I know I am, man. I'm not going to pick the diseased, withered away individual to swap with, and that's what we're eating. We're eating the cow who's diseased, who's riddled with chemicals and illness. We're taking him, we're slaughtering him, we're chopping him up, and then we're eating him.
But also, they're going to the bathroom, and their poop and pee gets into our rivers, is into our. So you don't even have to be an animal lover. This is a serious problem. There's poison in the ground because of all the waste that's coming from the animals.
That's right.
There's another great documentary. It was, what was that one that you made me watch, the kids watch, and you tried to get your parents to? I forget what it was called.
It was one just on the earth.
Yeah, I think it was actually called Earth, but regardless. They did a
it wasn't.
phenomenal job of
Yeah.
showing how all of these issues contribute to our problem. You know, people think, oh, I drive a car and the discharge, the carbon monoxide's coming out of my tailpipe is horrible. To be honest with you, the cows and the animals that are being fed the wrong diet that are producing this methane gas is just as big of a problem as the emissions from our vehicles,
Right.
if not bigger.
Right.
Because we now consume so much meat that we need so many animals to be produced in order to maintain the amount of meat that we eat. The gas that they're producing from the inaccurate diets they're being fed is becoming a huge problem.
Well, and that they're using on the factory farms. That's blowing into the air.
Is it
you
that
know?
it's cheap? Is that why they're feeding them that?
Right, corn. If
Yes.
you think about corn, corn is so cheap now; it's everywhere. It's
And
a
not-
staple for everything.
Not only that, non-organic corn is GMO,
Oh,
yeah.
which means
yeah.
the seeds are soaked
Yeah.
in pesticides.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they have to. If you think about how much, another thing, vegetables and grains that we have to grow to sustain, you know, the population, how could they not, to be honest with you now, use the pesticides? And, you know, we've become so dependent on these different ways. They've gotten away from learning how to keep the pests away naturally.
Right.
You know, from learning how to make, you know, we just had this was the first year we had a garden. And, you know, we didn't use any chemicals. And, yeah, it takes time to learn how to make things produce and grow and to keep the bugs away. Like, I used organic and natural pesticides, but eventually I don't want to use anything.
Right.
You know, so maybe instead of using a spray, I'm going to buy some praying mantises and I'm going to let them out around my yard.
I
And-
have praying mantises
Right.
in my garden.
but we got away from that because human nature, we're lazy. We want the quickest, we want the most, we want it
Exactly.
now.
Yeah.
The easiest way
You're
to do it.
absolutely right.
you know?
I use a spray I get right at Home Depot. It's safe for animals
Right.
and humans.
Yeah.
It's made with spearmint oil and
That's what we-
eucalyptus
right,
and
stuff,
I forget
right.
the name of it, but
There's a garlic in some of them too that you can spray.
Doctor something.
Yeah, Dr. Stroll's or no,
No,
that's
it's
the foot.
Dr.
No, I know. We have the same one. Yeah, we have the
But
same one.
that's it works excellent in the
Yeah, it's
garden.
got
It
the
keeps,
man with the hat on it. With the
and
same one.
Mom made me plant if you plant marigolds around the perimeter of the garden, it also keeps certain pests away.
Oh,
See?
really?
Yeah.
And we've gotten away from that. The
Right.
farmers, and you know, I don't blame the farmers per se. You really can't, because they've gotten to a point now where in order to feed their families, they have to keep up with the Joneses. They have to learn how to produce. So it's really, you have to blame
It's the big
human
the big
nature. You know, the way
ones.
we've gone down. We've become so lazy.
Right, exactly. We
That's
have.
what it is. And there
Ideally,
are
everybody should be growing their own stuff. That'd be great. I mean, I know that's crazy to say, but that'd be the best way to do things.
I wish I
some
could
law
do that
about
year
that
round.
now? I read
you
something.
can't?
Yeah, that you're not allowed to. Some woman got arrested because she was growing her own vegetables
Certain
and things like that.
states, yeah,
Certain
certain
states,
I'm going to say, lock me up, because I
Yeah.
grew a bunch
Yeah,
this year.
seriously.
You know? We did a nice job, but you have to live and you learn. And the farmers don't have time to live and learn. If they don't produce now, they're out of business. Because the next guy is going to come right up and he's going to sign on the dotted line for any GMO company or the newest seed, because he knows he has to feed his family. You mean, and then when you watch these documentaries where they're pushing the organic farmers out,
Yeah.
they're making it so hard to be an organic farmer because they know.
They won't sign
It's like the
for that
NFL with the
GMO.
concussion thing. Anybody who talked about it got pushed out the door. Any organic farmer who talks about the problems of the GMOs, you're just going to get pushed right out the door. It's horrible, you know? And until everybody jumps on board, you know?
I know.
Well, there are so many people out there who not necessarily are lazy, but don't have the ability to grow their own food, don't live in a place where they can,
Right.
Right.
and
Don't have
don't
the time.
don't have the
Right.
money
Or the
to,
money, right.
because for some reason organic food is wildly expensive, which
Yes.
I don't understand why, because if you're not paying for pesticides and you're growing things
Right,
organically,
right.
why is
Right.
it so much more expensive?
Right.
You know,
we were
which
just
makes
talking
no
about this
sense.
before that said, why am I paying more for a bundle of organic broccoli than you are for a ribeye steak?
Yeah.
Really?
Does that tell you how messed up society is, where we are valuing that cow is worth less than the broccoli, who, listen, I love broccoli, but he doesn't have a soul, he doesn't hurt, he doesn't think, the broccoli's not thinking. That cow is worth less than this bundle of broccoli.
Right, that's what
Right.
people do.
I mean, you don't think, I could probably read 1,000 verses in this Bible where it's going to say to me, that's God saying that's wrong. It's not the way to live your life.
I think if most
No.
of us had to capture, kill, and cut up and eat animals on our own,
We would
I
die.
think that 80% of us wouldn't do it.
We wouldn't be
Right.
able
Most
to.
people wouldn't be able to. There
No,
are some
Because
that
we're all a
would.
bunch of
Right.
hypocrites.
You're
So there
right.
are some out there.
You're right.
I mean, I don't think,
People like that doctor who shot the lion. There are people like that.
well, there's people in North Haven
Yeah.
that I visited, on calls and whatnot, that actually have trophy rooms of animals that they've hunted. But then I come to find out it's one of these things where, hey, you want to go on an elephant hunt this weekend? Yeah, sure. Okay, listen, I'll give you that if you're hunting the elephant fair and square and you're giving that elephant a fair shot. 'Cause let me tell you something right now. He's probably going to win, the elephant. Let me tell you. Okay, he knows the jungle. I don't think you're going to get the best of that elephant. But it's not. It's, I'll put you in a fenced-in area.
Right.
That elephant's chained to the big cinder block over there. Go ahead, shoot him.
Yeah, that's exactly
I'll
how
put
it is.
some food
That's
out
exactly
over
what it is.
That's what
there.
they
The
do now.
giraffe is chained up over there. You could shoot him. Go ahead and then tell
Right.
everybody your war story about how you shot a giraffe or an elephant.
Right.
Come on.
Well, I don't even
I
know
know.
why you have to do that. What?
Right.
Why don't you just go kill people and put their heads on
Well,
your
what's
wall?
next
Right.
after you get the lion?
Yeah.
Or you get the tiger? What's next? You're going to have to hunt a human because it doesn't get much. What's
There's
on
nothing
top
else.
of a lion?
Yeah, there's
Can't
nothing else.
understand that.
You know what I mean?
It's all about ego. It's all
Yeah.
it is. It's all about
Yeah.
ego.
Right.
That's what it's just, like, I was on Facebook about the man caught that fish that's been around for how many
Oh, yeah.
hundreds of
Yeah.
years, and he caught him.
Right.
And what's he gonna do with him?
Right.
Yeah, put him back.
Exactly.
not.
Well, you're gonna
Right.
kill him,
Trophy him?
kill him, and put the head on the wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Or
okay.
stuff it
I
and
caught
put it
this
on my
fish.
wall.
So
Exactly.
what?
Why did
what,
you take
why
its
do you
life
need
away?
to do
Right.
that to feel like a person?
No, I've
Right.
talked to hunters who have also said to me, if it weren't for us going out there and killing deer, the population would get out of hand,
Yes.
and then you'd be bitching
Yes.
because
I'm sure
they're
God
eating
would
your
regulate
gardens
it.
and
Yes.
they're doing this
Don't
and they're
worry.
doing, you know what I mean?
We are in their environment.
Yeah,
okay?
well, they become.
So-
They say they become.
I'll
you
deal
know,
with
they'll
a few
become
extra deer.
invasive.
Don't worry. I'll be all right with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's friends with people that hunt, and I told him don't ever introduce me to them because I'm gonna get
Well,
on
listen,
my
you know,
mind.
in
I'm
their-
sorry,
People
I
don't tell
have
you
no
anything.
use
I
for
will
that.
say,
I think
listen,
it's horrible.
In their defense, these are people that were brought up in that environment, and it's one of those things where, I'll be honest, they will tell you, oh, we respect the animal. They don't, it's tough. They were brought up in that environment, so I don't go at them. I don't give them a hard time because that's what they do, and okay, I get it. It's just when, where I have the issue is when, I'm getting a phone call.
If you're killing for sport,
Can I step aside?
it's one thing, but if you're killing for food, it's another. I mean, if you're killing for sport, I just don't.
Yeah,
I
for
just
fun.
I can't condone that at all.
Right.
But you say you have a vegetarian diet, a vegetarian vegan diet.
Yes.
What are the benefits of having a vegetarian vegan diet?
Well, I feel great. I have a thyroid problem, and I haven't told my doctor this, but I haven't taken my medicine in a while, and I just got my blood work done, and my thyroid has been great.
Wow,
I mean,
that's
I'm a
wonderful.
little
That's
low
awesome.
in vitamin D and vitamin B12, but other than that, my levels are perfect, and I've always lacked something. Iron. This was when I was eating meat. I always lacked something. I always felt horrible, and it wasn't until I started on this diet that I started feeling great. I started feeling better. I have more energy, and I'm not even taking my medicine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so,
right. That's what it does to you.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and
Do you-
gentlemen, we lost a Val for right now.
Yeah.
He's a policeman, and he got a call, so he had to take it. I'm not sure if he's coming back or not. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
So that's
Hopefully.
yeah. I hope he does. Yeah, the benefits of eating vegetarian or vegan. That's you're right about that. Dairy is really not good for people. It creates mucus in the body.
Right. And
like-
even now on the almond milk, it says there's 50% more calcium in the almond milk than there is in regular milk.
That's what I was
So-
gonna say. People want to know where are they gonna get their calcium from, and they don't. They don't do the research. They just want to be
It's
told
so
what to do.
simple. Once you figure it out, it really is very simple.
That's good. And so what I was saying also in that documentary on Forks Over Knives, they were talking about how people who have had really bad reports, health reports and things that they were suffering through, stopped eating all that stuff and kind of doing what you're doing,
Right.
and actually feel 100% better now.
Even people have said, oh, I want to lose weight. I don't know a way to lose weight. Just stop eating animal products, and I promise you, you'll lose weight. You don't have to not eat carbs. You could still eat your macaroni. You can still eat everything that you want to eat. Just don't eat animal products, and the weight just comes right off.
And processed foods too.
Yeah.
Processed foods
Yeah.
are real bad for you.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know how can people conquer their desire? All right, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I still desire it at times. I still think about a hot dog, and I still think about a turkey burger, and I still think about meat. I'm Italian, right? Put the meat in the sauce, put the pork in the sauce, put the bourgeois in the sauce.
Right.
I think about those things, and I still have a craving for it. But
And
you know
so do
what?
I.
think about the animal. I think about what I'm doing. I'm somebody killed this animal. The animal suffered. I think about the fact that all that fear and suffering is in his body, and I'm eating that too.
Right.
All that.
Right.
So that's why I don't do it. It's not because I think I'm cured. There's no such thing. You just can't do it because your heart says, I can't eat this suffering carcass, this meat, they call it meat, but this dead animal. You're eating dead food, a dead animal. It's dead. It's dead. There's no life in that. It's dead. And that's what you have to do. It's not
Also,
easy. We know that.
There are so many, this is 2016, there are so many alternatives of these products that taste just like a burger.
You're right.
There are a lot of different ones, and you do have to weed them out to what is to your liking, but you would be surprised. Gardein is phenomenal. Their burgers, to me, taste just like a burger. I put a piece of vegan cheese on it, mustard and ketchup, some mayonnaise, vegan mayonnaise, and I'm telling you, you would never tell the difference. Put it on the grill, it's just as good.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I was
really
the biggest
is.
meat eater around.
Yeah,
Probably
he
before
was.
I met
I
her,
never
and
thought that he would stop eating it.
She actually bought one brand. I forget what it was, but she made like it was basically a vegan Big Mac.
Yeah.
I
So
remember
good.
saying to her, this was, and they were expensive. They were maybe $6 for like 3 patties.
Yeah.
But that's where you just need to do a little extra homework, and that's the problem with with society is we're so lazy. We don't want to do the homework. We just want to go to the grocery store, buy my 12-pack of burgers for $6 or for whatever it is, throw it on the grill and eat my dinner. I don't want to go online and find out what the biggest question I get at the police department is, well, where do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein?
Everybody says that. Where do you get
Yeah.
your
My
protein?
protein.
You don't need protein.
Right.
You really don't need protein.
How much, you're telling me the only way to get protein is meat? And then I could sit there and say, well, do you have some time? Because I'm going to run off a list of about 30 different places where I get my protein. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I say, don't start slow. Okay? I get it. You've been eating meat your whole life. I have some guys on our tactical team with they eat meat every single meal.
Yeah.
They eat 6 times a day. They eat meat 6 times a day. So I said, all right, just cut out, let's start with pork. Cut out pork. Not that hard. You could still eat beef and chicken. Then you cut out beef. Okay, then if you're already doing so much if you cut out pork and beef. That documentary we watched, if everybody cut meat out of 1 meal a week,
Yeah.
they'd be doing so much for
Yeah.
the environment,
Yeah.
for just
Themselves.
for themselves.
Eat more
1 meal a
healthy.
week?
Even
Yeah.
breakfast, like eating oatmeal for breakfast and fruit and stuff.
That's 1 meal
Right.
a
It
day.
actually keeps you fuller longer.
Yeah.
And that's 1
And
meal a
it's
day, not
better
1 meal a
for
week,
you.
right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
easy. That's an easy one. Have a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Have some oatmeal. You still want to have your eggs with your toast. Just don't have. Like we went out to eat breakfast the other day. We never order meat. Every time we ordered eggs or anything we ordered, any meat with that? Any meat with that? No, I don't want. Why is it you're asking me? I didn't order meat. You're looking at me like I have 5 heads. Any meat with that?
We're ordering a
I'm
side
gonna
of
have scrambled egg whites with
asparagus.
some toast. Any
Yeah.
meat with that? No, I don't want
Yeah.
any meat. It's become such a staple that
Yeah.
people are like, no meat. You don't want bacon or sausage
Yeah.
or this. It's like, and then you got
What's
the
up?
people. I'll have the meat. They get the eggs with the bacon, sausage, and the ham.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It's like it's a really addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
People are addicted. Like you get addicted to liquor, you get addicted to your cigarettes, you're addicted to drugs. We're addicted to meat. People are really
Yeah.
addicted to meat.
And you wonder, is there something, I know I'm going to get beat up for this one, but is there something in the meat and the food that we eat that kind of causes that?
I think there is.
Is there
really
something
do.
in there?
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
that
I'm really not.
causes-
But that causes us
You to
that
crave it.
desire to crave it and want more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They-
I didn't have that hard of a time getting rid of it, but I know some people that really do. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Maybe we can get the meat patch.
Yeah, right.
Somebody out
Yeah.
there create the meat patch. All right.
Seriously.
Save a lot of
Meat-free.
lives. 'Cause
Yeah.
You know, if you're out to eat and you just look, it's very easy to just not have to even want to get a substitute of meat. I'm sure there's a vegetable meal. You know what I mean?
Sure there
like
is.
Right.
Oh,
a
I
stir
had
fry.
a-
Just don't get the chicken.
Right.
You know, like it's very easy to just not get the meat portion of it in something that you normally always do get.
I had a burger made out of portobello mushroom.
Oh, yeah,
I think
it's
and
so
black
good.
beans mixed together and made into
Oh,
a patty
so
with
good.
red
Yeah.
onion, ketchup, mustard
So
on it.
good.
Oh boy, was
I
that!
know.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
She makes one with mushrooms is the base for it. It's basically it's pureed mushrooms. You put some breadcrumbs in there. You could chop up and put whatever vegetables you want, green, red peppers. Let me tell you something. We form them. They make a nice patty. Let
And
it
you
sit.
keep it overnight.
The
and
texture is good.
yeah, it's just
Delicious.
like, I hate to say it's just like ground beef, but it is. It forms
I actually
just
think it's
like
better,
it.
but it's because ground beef is one of the meats that repulses me the most is ground beef.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that where they talk about the pink slime that they put in
Yeah.
ground beef
Oh, yeah.
to give it its color.
And McDonald's is a big
to
proponent
think
of that.
about
Yeah.
people actually go home mouth watering for the ground beef, and you're like, do you know?
They don't know.
you're
That's the
putting
problem.
into your
People don't
body?
know.
No.
People don't know.
And these
It's-
health nuts that we had just recently, there was a 3-day event that our police department takes part in. It's a Connecticut SWAT challenge, and there's a bunch of vendors there. And one of the vendors was a place called Inner Armor. They're like a supplement place. And there was a woman that was working there, and she was a very muscular woman. You would look at her as like a pinnacle of health. And I was talking to her, and I was talking about her diet, and she probably thought I was asking her because she probably thought I was the typical guy that works out, that eats the grilled chicken and all that. And I'm listening to her diet, and meat everywhere.
Oh.
And I asked her, I said, oh, you do organic? She goes, no, whatever's on sale. I'm going to myself, you are trying to be a pinnacle of health, and you may look good on the outside, but you have no clue what you're doing to yourself on the inside with all that cheap meat that you're putting. Never mind any kind of meat, but especially that cheap meat that comes from the factory farms that you're putting into your body. The chicken that you probably eat 3 times a day. The antibiotics and the hormones that are going
And
into
it
those
may be
chickens.
from
Steroids,
China.
everything. GMO.
They
yeah.
don't even have to put the origin of where the meat comes from anymore.
No, they don't.
Nope.
And why do
So
they
you
do
have no
that?
clue
Why do
where
they
it's
hide
from.
that? There has to be a reason.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
If you, growing up, I use my children as an example. My daughter, right? She's the queen at sneaking her snacks. Why does she hide the snack or hide whatever she's hiding from me and her mother at 10 o'clock at night on a summer night because she knows she's not supposed to be eating it right now. She already had, ate everything she was supposed to eat throughout the day and then some. She knows. So when these giant factory farms are sneaking things, it's the same premise. We don't have to be rocket science to figure out why they're sneaking.
Exactly.
Because it's not good what they're doing,
That's right.
or else they would let us know.
They would tell the
They
truth.
would use
yeah.
it as a marketing ploy to make money. If what they were doing was healthy and good, they would market the heck out of it to make money.
See, it's all the bottom line is money.
Yeah,
It
Yes.
is all. This whole
Right.
country is money.
It's a
Why would they make a documentary on how bad meat and dairy is for you, and they're not making any money? They're not trying to sell you vegetables. They're actually giving you recipes to eat vegetables so that you don't eat the meat. Or they're not making any money on it.
course.
God, all the stuff is free. You can go online and pick up tons and tons of vegan
Right.
recipes with.
Yeah.
The problem
So
is
many.
not number one, laziness. Yes, but number two, we have to work so hard in this country just to make ends meet.
Right.
They don't make it easy on
Right.
people. And a lot of people are out there working their butts off trying to feed their families. They don't have time to mess
Right.
around with recipes.
Exactly.
I don't even have kids and I don't have time to mess around
Right.
with recipes. I'm trying to, go, thank God for places like Chopped, which is a big salad
Right.
place where you can buy, stuff like that. Thank God for that because I
Right.
am never home.
Right.
There
And
was
I'm
a-
never at mom's either. 'Cause
There was a family that we watched on TV. The family was struggling to make ends meet, and they were talking about how, in order to feed the father was saying, in order to feed his family, he has to feed them off the dollar menu at McDonald's. So it's not all right. We can't make ends meet, but then we have these companies that make it so easy for us to eat bad. It's $1 for a chicken sandwich at McDonald's. It's $1 for a cheeseburger. Do you not see a problem with paying $1 for a cheeseburger? $1 gets me a beef patty, a bun, cheese, ketchup, mustard, and pickles and onions for
Lettuce.
$1?
Yeah.
A chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato for $1? That's not a problem. You know what I mean? Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You know?
Think, oh boy, I'm saving money here.
No.
Yeah, and how much fat and everything else. And
Oh,
by
yeah.
the way, look at me. I have not stopped eating meat completely. I've cut back, and I have not stopped eating processed. I'm working on that.
Good
and
for
then look
you.
at them. They're vegan. They're eating healthy. They're not eating meat.
Right.
There it is, right there.
God
It's right
bless
there
you.
in front of you. Hey, you know what? I can't hide it. I'm
No,
working
you're
on it, though. I'm
trying,
working on it.
so-
You're trying.
Yeah.
And I would love to, I'm moving that direction where I can.
But it
I don't
takes
feel
time.
good because I work all the time, and I don't take the time that I need to make the recipes that I need to make
Right.
to eat healthy. But it's a decision.
It
you have
took
to
me
make.
years, honestly.
Yeah,
So don't
you
be
have to
so
make the
hard on
decision.
yourself.
Well,
It seriously
You
took
make that
me.
decision.
You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah,
make the decision.
it just,
to be
a little
healthy.
at a time. A little at a time. That's
there's-
all you could do.
There's a lot of protein in grains and nuts and seeds and avocados, and there's
Oh,
if you
yeah.
just do a little research, and you can plan your menu.
Exactly.
I was looking at something too, reading on the news that the number one killer is heart disease, and now they're saying cancer is catching up.
Yeah.
And I said, no kidding.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
You
Well,
know.
even childhood cancer.
Yeah.
It's about 25 kids are diagnosed every day with cancer. And, you have to wonder why is that?
Well, they
or
found
else-
that casein in dairy, which they
Right.
say you got to drink
yeah.
your milk for strong bones.
Yeah.
Casein is causing cancer like
Right.
crazy.
Right.
But
I
they're
mean,
not
some
telling the
that-
public that because the American Dairy Council
Right.
doesn't want people to know because
Right.
they'll lose money.
and
well-
the pesticides that are in
Yeah.
that causes cancer.
Well,
GMO is
GMO.
pesticides. That's cancer. They soak seeds in pesticides. Soak them in pesticide.
Yeah.
Then they grow, and then they spray it out too.
Right.
And then you can't use the
Cancer.
ground for 5 years after you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And did you ever hear of the Dark Act? That they were trying to, the food industry wanted to take off GMO labeling.
Yeah.
So they spent over $30 million so that they do not have to label if it's a GMO product or not. And the Dark Act is denying Americans the right to know. And it
That's horrible.
passed.
Oh, you're kidding.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up. Why can't we know if it's a GMO
Right.
or not?
Yeah, it's
What
horrible.
are they hiding?
Yeah.
What are they hiding? We
And
know
they
what they're
spent
hiding.
30,
Well, it's all
over
about the
$30
money.
million to pass that, and it passed.
You know
They
what?
just paid it.
The only
they
thing
just
I
paid
take
off.
comfort in is that what goes around comes around. There is such a thing as karma, and one day it's all going to blow up in their faces. Are you going to leave us?
Yes, I'm going to leave you guys.
All right, we're going to say goodnight to Val.
Thank you so much for having me.
We
Thank
love
you.
you.
I love you guys too. You guys are the
And-
best.
We'll talk again. All
Thank
right,
you,
take care,
Officer
sweetheart.
Val.
Mwah.
Thank you so much.
Be safe out
Bye.
there.
Yes.
Thank you
Be
so
very
much.
safe. Take care.
Thank you.
And you know what else? Not only that with the meat eating. What about skinning animals for fur? Okay. What
Yeah.
about animal experiments?
Yeah.
Okay. What about people who own animals and torture them because they're sick
Right.
and because they can't? What about bestiality?
Yeah.
People having sex with animals.
Yeah.
Okay. What about that?
God.
All those things that people do with animals. there's got to be a way for people to learn to respect animals
Yeah.
and to realize who they are.
Right.
You know, a long time ago, Catholicism said animals don't have a soul.
Yeah.
That's not true. Animals have a soul.
Yes, they do.
They really do. All animals have a soul. What they don't have is any karma ever
Yeah.
and guilt, because they are the only innocents that walk this planet. We're not innocent.
Well,
but
you
they are.
will, and you will see a tortured dog who has been starved, beaten, electrocuted, hung upside down. And the moment that somebody comes to save her, she's so grateful to you. So
Yes.
grateful. Wags the tail, okay? And just wants love and is so forgiving. We are not like
No.
that. If somebody ever tortured my kid, I would never forgive you, you know? And it's incredible to me whenever I see an animal who has suffered and I see how forgiving they are.
I feel like God put them on the planet to be an example for us.
Yeah, and
They're
I
here to
don't
teach us, yeah.
I don't understand why people don't see that. I just don't understand it. You don't have to love animals, but at least learn from them.
I know.
I think
So-
it's all in how you're brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, how people. Yeah, that's true.
You were going to talk about fostering and adopting animals as well?
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
So
Because I see in a lot of shelters, they get put to sleep because there's no space. And obviously that's not a very good reason. So if people would just, open up their homes to fostering these animals, these rescues and shelters provide everything. They provide the bedding, the food, the vet bills, the everything. You just have to provide the home until a home is found for them. And a lot of people have said to me, oh, I can never do that. I will get too attached. And I totally get that, because every dog I've ever fostered, I cry like a baby when they have to go to their homes. But you have to just think that this is not about me. This is about this animal. And it's either this animal's going to die or I'm going to take it in.
A few people have said to me that they don't want to do that because they're afraid if they don't find a home for them, then they're going to have the dog for the
Right.
rest of their life, and they already have, a few
Right.
dogs.
They usually do, well, they find homes when they are in foster homes, because
Yeah.
they do become more adoptable.
Right.
Because
That's
they're
what they
in,
don't understand.
Yeah, they're in a family setting. They're in a home maybe with other dogs. When they're sitting in a shelter or in a cage all day, they freak out. When they get out, they're wild because they've been cooped up all day, so.
And they're scared.
Very scared. So,
if people would just rescue and not adopt.
yeah.
You know,
And go to
not,
a
not
breeder.
going to the animals, pet stores.
I know.
You know, if they would take those animals that are raised on those puppy farms and
Yeah.
cat farms, where they're, take those animals, stop breeding, stop that,
Right.
take the rescue animals and put them into
Yeah.
the pet stores. Then you can buy it there.
Right.
You know, same thing.
I don't understand why they don't come
I
from.
know.
and-
You people
Money,
out there have
money.
to do what you can.
It's a money-driven world,
Yeah.
and that's just
Oh, yeah.
what it is. I mean,
It is.
everybody's fighting to make the almighty dollar, and that's all it's about. I mean, there are people going, they open up Facebook pages and they breed, and you don't even know who's adopting the animals or how they're
Right.
being treated or
Right.
anything like that.
I went-
I mean, people have to take a bigger stance on reporting animal abuse. Animals left chained outside in the cold or in
Right.
the heat.
Right.
This heat is horrible.
Yeah.
I can't even, the dogs out, I let my dogs out in the 98% humidity,
Right.
100, they're out there for maybe 20 minutes, half
I
hour,
know.
and they're really panting,
know.
and they're hot, and I'm like, I'd get in the house,
Right.
cool down,
Right.
It's
I know.
great.
It's tough.
I went to the North Shore Animal League in Long Island, and they're the largest no-kill shelter, I believe, in the world. And it was an amazing place where it reminded me of a pet store. Like, you can find all different ages. Puppies, there were so many different puppies to choose from. And I had no intention of getting a dog that day. I went with my aunt, and she ended up bringing a puppy home. But there was this little poodle, and she was this big, so cute with these little pigtails in her hair. And I like the big dogs. And I said, she was just sitting there, and she was in a room with a pit bull, and she was just sitting there looking at me. I said, I want this dog. And they said to me that, do you have any kids? I said, yeah, I have 2 7-year-olds. And they said, well, she can't go in a home with any children because she's the product of a puppy mill. And she's 8 years old, and she's been inbred her whole life, just continually impregnated.
Oh, dear.
And she needs to go to a home where it's quiet.
Quiet, yeah.
And she could just relax and no chaos. And there's chaos in my house, but I was really sad because I really did want to take her home.
Should be good for an elderly person who
she was
is alone.
beautiful. My heart just broke for her because I looked in her eyes and I just couldn't imagine what this poor dog has been through in her 8 years. And it's horrible.
It really is.
It's so sad. All these dogs and cats, they all have all these stories that if they can only talk.
They have a website, North Shore Animal
Yeah,
League.
it was amazing.
I had to go online.
Yeah, North Shore Animal League in Long Island.
That's not far.
Yeah, no. It was right off the Throgs Neck Bridge, and it was huge.
Oh,
so many
we'll have to go there.
animals. Yeah.
We should go there
But the
and
shelters here
some video.
in North Haven,
yeah.
in New Haven, and I think in the other towns,
Right.
Wallingford and East Haven, they kill the animals after a time.
Oh, yeah.
They kill them.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to adopt them, they're going to be put to sleep, which is a kind way of saying they're killing them.
Right.
So don't go to a pet store.
I know.
You don't need a purebred dog. A lot of the animals in these shelters are purebred.
Right.
But mongrel animals, cats and dogs, both, they're very loving. They're wonderful. Old dogs
Yeah.
are just sweet and great, and they're already trained. You know, so do your share in something like that.
Right.
And talking about fur, why do you need to wear a fur coat?
Yeah.
Why do you need to wear leather? You know, animals are killed for their fur. Some of them are stripped before they're even dead
Yeah.
of their fur.
They're still breathing.
They're still breathing, okay?
Yeah.
So why do you need that? Why
Yeah.
do you need the leather?
Right.
Why? So you could pay extra money for something like it's soft.
Right.
Huh?
These
think
are
of the
fine.
torture.
So many
But
alternatives.
she's got some beautiful boots.
See?
Look at these boots. They're not leather.
Nope.
They're not leather.
No.
Okay? She won't have anything leather. You
No.
don't need the leather. You don't need the fur.
No.
It's the fur is now a status symbol. That's all it is.
Right. And
You
I
know?
used to wear the Uggs. I used to be obsessed with the Uggs.
Yeah.
And I got rid of them all. I
heard
don't
they
want
weren't that
nothing.
comfortable anyway.
No.
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 And the other thing is animal experiments.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
They experiment on animals. Not necessary.
No.
Doesn't really tell you anything because what an animal experiences is not what a human experiences.
Right.
They're all for nothing. But what they are called, and excuse my English, it's called, quote, unquote, covering my ass.
Yeah.
In other words, if I say I put this into somebody,
Yeah.
something,
Right.
and it caused this and that, now I can say, okay, I can sell it.
Right.
Bottom line, money.
Right.
Money, okay?
I vote for experiments on people like
Yeah.
the guy who killed the Pettit family.
Yes.
Things like that.
Yes.
I vote for experiments on death row. For experiments on death row inmates who have done horrendous torture. I know that God says we're supposed to love everybody, but
Right.
the animals are innocent
Right.
and they're not.
But I bet you if they put out a thing in the paper for just testing,
Right.
I bet you people would do it.
That's right, they would.
You know? If you give them a free something,
And
you
you
know,
know- yeah.
they would do it.
And you know what else,
You
folks?
let them put something on your hand to see if it burns your skin.
Yeah. I bet you they would do
Bottom
it.
line, too, is they're making so many medicines today
Yeah.
that are not needed,
Yeah.
that are not necessary. I can't even pronounce what they are. The commercials are every 10 minutes when you watch
Yeah.
an hour show.
But then what about all the side effects at the end?
That's right, all the side effects.
Da-da-da-da-da-da for about 10 minutes
Right.
straight. You're like, wow, okay.
So they test this medicine on the animals, and animals experience all those side effects. Now, can you imagine the torture that they go through?
Yeah.
And they die,
Yeah.
okay?
I know. And they say that, because I know somebody said, well, if you were sick, wouldn't you want it to have been tested on something? Of course I would, but animals are different than humans, so they're going to react differently
That's
than
right.
a human would.
That's right.
And that has been said.
That's right.
They say that.
Yeah,
It's
true.
different.
It's all a waste of time.
Yes.
It's really, you don't need to do that.
Right.
And if we all stopped eating animals, and if we all started eating healthy, we wouldn't need all this medicine.
Right.
Exactly.
But, of
And
course.
there's even certain dog foods that test on beagles. So you should really look up, I'm not sure the name, but they just test something with the beagles. And you will see that all these beagles are in these experimental, it's horrible.
Horrible.
Because they freed them all one time. And they said...
Oh, I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember seeing something
and they're
about
just
that.
laying there, and they have their legs tied up, and I mean, it's horrible what they do to them.
It really is. You have to protest as people. The only way you can do that, stop buying products that test on animals, like
Right.
cosmetics even too.
Oh, yeah.
That and the medicines. Stop buying that.
There's so
And
many things that don't test.
That's right. And
If
sign
you just look
petitions.
on the back of labels, it says cruelty-free.
Yeah.
We don't test on animals. And there's a lot of products that you would
That's
be
right.
surprised do not test on animals.
Support those products.
Yeah.
Support those products.
Right.
Sign petitions when you see them on Facebook or places, or you get them an email with all these wonderful animal rights groups that are trying so hard to help people.
Yeah.
Sign those petitions. Start your own petition.
Right.
Do what you can to save and help these animals.
Right.
Yep.
And
Educate
all the
yourself.
different ways.
Yeah.
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
online. Watch this documentary.
Yeah.
I'm going to promote this because you watch the documentary before you even decide whether or not you want to change your life. But there are people who have gotten off multiple amounts of medications just by changing their diet.
Right.
And you had a gentleman
Simple.
on here who changed his diet. He cured himself of stage 4 cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are a lot of excellent
Wow.
recipes in this book, Forks Over Knives. It's a great documentary. Just listen. Go, listen to it for yourself. You
Right.
don't want cancer. You don't want heart attacks. You don't want all these other, you want to live a healthy life.
Right.
It's 90% what you eat.
Exactly.
90%
Yeah.
what you eat. We tell you don't do this, don't do that, don't eat meat. What do? Well, there's a lot of great books out there. There's a lot of great vegetarian books out there that have excellent recipes. Yeah, they take a little time when you first learn them, but once you get to know the recipes, you can whip it up,
Right.
you know? Go ahead, do something good for yourself. Take care of yourself. Don't let me come to your house because you're having chest pain because you eat what Val said, you eat meat at every meal.
Right.
She's a
Don't do
paramedic,
that.
so
I'm
that's
a
what she
paramedic.
means. She's a
Well, if you've been
paramedic.
watching the show, you'll know that
Yeah.
I'm a paramedic. But, I mean, the studies are proving that milk, casein, causes cancer more than some of the meats out there.
Right.
You got to take care of yourself. You're the only one who can take care of yourself. You are your own best advocate.
Take care of yourself. Have mercy for the animals. Save them. Help them. It's good for your soul. This show is dedicated to saving your body and saving your soul. Okay? All right, folks. Thank you. We're going to give the contact information now.
Available on Amazon.
Yeah, you can get on Amazon too. Those
Yeah.
To get in touch with Val and Gina, it's rescuek911@aol.com or on Facebook, North Haven Police, Union Rescue K911. And to get in touch with me, Rosemary Lachance, phone number is 203-627-7966. My email is whitebuffalo8@comcast.net, and my website, www.rosemarylachance.com. There's lots of videos there about eating vegetarians, lots of videos there about animals, lots of information. You go on there, okay? And for Dina,
You can get in touch with me at freewind1@comcast.net, or I'm on Facebook and Twitter under D Scungio with any questions you might have.
and don't forget to go on YouTube and type in Healing Outside the Box and see all our past shows, and especially the one from Don Porter, who has cured himself from stage 4 bone cancer.
Wow.
Okay? And he has had so many people that have seen this YouTube show because I get that information, and people who have called him, and he's willing to help everyone.
Wow.
So go on there and watch that one. You can watch any of our shows. Pick and choose. Okay? So thank you, folks, for being with us tonight. Good night. We love
Bye.
you. Take care. Please, God be with you.
Be an advocate.
Yeah.
Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far, you understand.